What's up, Dodger fans? Dodgers win another one on Sunday, giving them 2 series wins this week. They're now 15-8 since Clayton Kershaw last pitched. So maybe they don't need him for the stretch run. Can they stay in the race without him? We'll discuss that more tonight on Dodger.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You guys don't want to get any
Really
guttural
that.
sounds out there? You know, little guttural sounds out there just to kind of get the diaphragm working. Woo! Welcome, Dodger fans, to another edition of Dodgers Rap 360. Thanks for tuning in with us. Alongside Hunter Marks, Joshua Gershon, and Michael Rippe. I'm Mike Coneley. Thanks for listening in with this gang. How about these Dodgers? Like I said, 15-8 since Clayton Kershaw last took the bump for the Dodgers. Who needs them?
What an impressive road trip. We discussed last time that we'd be lucky to even split it. And here we go, beating both the Cardinals and the
Yeah.
and the Nationals. Excuse me about that.
Two
So
good
really just a
teams.
good series. Two good teams, 2 really impressive wins, especially learning that Kershaw was going on the DL. And the Dodgers really just stepped up, all of them.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Let's just shelve this week's results just for a second. And the fact that Kershaw, at this time last week, we were kind of, excited with the fact he had pitched a bullpen. As of Sunday, it hadn't got out how he did, but all we did was heard that he, threw 60 pitches. So we were somewhat excited.
Optimistic,
thank you. But then it comes out on Monday that he's suffered some back pain after that. And so now we don't know if he's even going to pitch this year.
Yeah.
He may need surgery and be out for the year.
Devastating news.
Devastating.
I mean, who knows? You can't lose. I mean, he was MVP at the time he was hurt,
Right. It's true.
So it's hard to lose an MVP. But maybe you get what did Bill Simmons call it? The Patrick Ewing effect, the Patrick Ewing theory, where your best player goes down and the team rallies and rallies behind it, makes a run. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Well, it kind of begs the question due to the fact we are shot right smack dab in the middle of hot stove baseball, which is everybody's favorite. I mean, it's just this is why you watch baseball for this week and next week, hot stove. So that being said, are the Dodgers buyers and sellers if Clayton Kershaw is out for the year?
I think you have to be a buyer at this point. This bullpen right now isn't good enough to go deep in the playoffs, let alone make the playoffs. So I think you kind of have to shore up that bullpen somehow.
I mean, that's been kind of one of their strengths. I mean, they kind of got out of the gate fast, but, the bullpen has been one of their strengths here in the last couple of months of the season. And I just think that so many people are going to be looking for bullpen help. It's going to be kind of tough to find. It'll be out there, but it'll be pretty a penny. What do you think, Joshua?
Well, in bullpen, I'm more worried about the arms getting thrown out versus the way the guys are playing. We saw it a couple of years ago. I still remember Paco Rodriguez, who was amazing for a while, pitched way more than he'd ever pitched before, and then was just done. Done. I don't think he's even in the majors anymore, right?
Yeah.
And I worry about that with Liberatore. He's getting a lot of workload. Guys like that. Blanton can handle it. Not worried about Blanton. Jansen can handle it. But it'd be nice. The trouble is there's such a premium right now for bullpen help. Right. It's ridiculous. I mean, the rumor is the Cubs, right, cut a deal today for Chapman.
I didn't know if they've made it happen.
It's
closing in.
Not done yet.
Not done yet, but it's the rumors out there for one of their hot shortstop prospects, something like that.
Prospect.
Single A shortstop centered around him.
Yeah.
I think that I think it depends on the Kershaw news, right? I don't think that the Dodgers can do anything in the playoffs if Kershaw's shelved for the season. So you got to figure that out before, in the next week before the deadline hits to see. But maybe a mix of both. Be a buyer and a seller.
Well, let's just say we looked in our crystal ball. Kershaw's done for the season.
I'm selling.
Selling.
100%.
Yeah.
Because the offense has done really well recently, but that pitching staff cannot. They're not going to win
They're not built to last.
Yeah, they're not going to win a
winning
World
the
Series.
They're not winning the series. So this team is trying to build on youth and going through a change. I don't understand why they would sell off mid-season to buy pieces and sell off maybe some prospects
Right.
or some players to add and fortify the team when their star and MVP would not be part of it. So
Now, give me if Clayton Kershaw, okay, he's got the back issues, not going to require surgery, just going to be, some rest. He's going to be back in 3 to 4 weeks.
yeah, I think if he's going to be back, then I think that there's more to the idea of being a buyer. Depending, of course, what you got to give up. And I think that's the key to any situation. I would like to see the Dodgers potentially go after a guy like Rich Hill. If Kershaw is going to be able to come back, because if you can get Rich Hill short-term rental, maybe you don't have to give up too much. He's a guy that, if you pair him with Kershaw in the playoffs, now you have a pretty strong 1-2.
Is Rich Hill on the block? They
Yes.
talked about it all?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Big time. Big time.
So I mean, I think it depends on the scenario. I don't think they should go after guys that are 4 or 5. They got plenty of pitchers that are, they can slot in at 3, 4, or 5. But if you can get a guy like Rich Hill, short term, not give up a boatload, and Kershaw's back, now you've got something to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be great. It's the not giving up a boatload, because there is so many people out there looking for starting pitching that they're asking the world for Rich Hill. I know the Red Sox went asking about Rich Hill, and they kind of wanted a similar price tag as the Padres wanted for Pomeranz, and that's why Red Sox did that deal. And you look at Pomeranz is 27, Rich Hill's 36.
36.
And Pomeranz is like under contract through next year at a Mannesville number as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. So, and the thing is, Billy Bean's gonna get it.
Yeah, he will, and that's I guess from my opinion would be to at least see what it is. Yeah, throw an offer out for Rich Hill if it's not everyone that you can afford to lose, and again, it's up to Kershaw.
Yeah.
I think if Kershaw is healthy and he's going to be part of this team, then you have to give him. You got to really tell the players and show the team that they're going to commit, as a front office, to giving them a chance to win this season still.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you, but I'd be. Yeah, it all depends on the Kershaw news. I hear you, but even if he's coming back with a balky back and they decide not to go the route, I'm almost still, if I'm a GM, I know you sometimes got to show the players and to a lesser extent the fans that you're in a big market and you kind of got to go for it. But I just think the pitching market out there is so small, and it's going to take an exorbitant price to get any type of pitching, whether it be bullpen help or a starter's help, that I would sell, and it's like I would look about maybe moving Brett Anderson not Brett Anderson, McCarthy, now that he's come out and granted, that is telling this team that you're pretty much throwing in the towel in 2016, which is a tough message. But as a GM, to see the market the way it is and not want to get in there and pillage some prospects for somebody, for like a Brandon McCarthy who could break down at any second just because he's had kind of 4 good starts for the Dodgers, it's like sell high,
Yeah.
because I was only expecting like maybe 1 out of 3 of him, Ryu, and Brett Anderson to even contribute this year. If we got 1 out of 3 of those guys to contribute, I thought that was good. Hopefully Brett Anderson come back, maybe get 2 out of 3, but Ryu looks like he's done for the year now, right?
I think Ryu's done, period.
Yeah,
I don't
done for his
think
career.
we'll see him pitch in the Dodger uniform again.
Yeah.
Really?
His injuries, it just keeps piling on and piling on and piling on. I just don't see, and he looked so bad in that outing. What was he hitting? Did he hit 90 on the gun?
His velocity's dropped there.
Yeah, I don't think he's hit 90. He's 28 and he's Jared Weaver already.
What do you think the issue is with Rue?
I think it's
Conditioning?
I think he was overworked, overtaxed. He threw a lot of innings those first 2 seasons. He really was asked to carry a lot for the team,
and I think his elbow's just given out. I think it's just one of those Mark Pryor kind of things where the elbow's just gone. I think his elbow's just gone. I mean, he's already had the surgery. It's the elbow again, and now the elbow and the shoulder, I believe now. I don't know how's he going to come back from all this unless he sits out a few years where we don't see him. McCarthy pitched just a little bit. Was basically only pitched a couple times in 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe Ryu comes back after that, but he might have to sit out at least another year.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see him pitching next year personally. There's just too much there, especially if his velocities drop that bad.
Yeah.
Where he was hitting, I mean, his prime there for those 2 years, he was hitting, what, 93?
Yeah, 92,
92, 93, pretty consistently. To drop to 86, 87, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you: if you're going to be a seller at the deadline here, forget pitching. Who are you going to sell off from the offense, from the hitters? I mean,
Well, the thing is like the hitting market for me. I'm like, maybe I can talk so objectively about this because I'm not a true Dodger fan. Imposter. But I just don't think the hitting market is going to be that great.
Agreed.
But the pitching, it's kind of hard for me not to jump into that pool as a GM. If I have watched my Clayton Kershaw-led team go kind of one and done the past 3 years that we've won the division, and now I don't have a Zach Greinke, and I have a Bucky Kershaw, I'm going to try and stock my already stockpiled farm system even more so by just fleecing people at this deadline where people are willing to be fleeced for pitching, and then just kind of go at it with some youngsters again next year. I mean, next year I'd even listen on Kazmir, Bud Norris, we just got him. I'd listen on him. If people want to bowl you away because there's no pitching out there, go ahead and fleece them. Take their prospects. Put Jarrell Cotton and Urias in the rotation at the start of next season. It's like,
And De Leon. When are we going to see De Leon up? I
we
don't
got to
see
see
him already.
De Leon soon.
Isn't he?
I mean, there's no more he can do in
Yeah,
AAA.
he's dominating, right?
We got to see him soon. I mean, obviously he'll be up for the September 1st call, but All right, let's shelve the hot stove for just a hot minute. But if you hear of anything, or if you guys know of any rumors, or if anything comes in on your Twitterverse, please let us know about them.
I've heard Buster Olney talking to Chris Archer.
I hear
to the
that
Dodgers,
too,
but-
and I think a lot of that is obviously Friedman's familiarity with
his
Chris
history with
Archer. And that I wouldn't mind that deal, but like I say, it's going to cost an awful lot, and the name Urias would probably have to be in that package, and I'm not really excited about making that.
I think Urias is off the block.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
So is Jarrell Cotton, Frankie Montes, and Adam Libator enough to get that deal done?
It might be. Montez might.
Well,
might push
there's
that over.
another Ray that's on that. There's speculation going to be traded, and that's Evan Longoria. He's the guy that I've heard the Dodgers are in on potentially, trading for Longoria.
For Justin Turner.
No, for moving Turner to second.
Turner to second base. Add Longoria. Tampa's trying to restructure, and his contract is big for Tampa, so something the Dodgers could absorb. It's a possibility, something that the Dodgers may do.
Does Turner have a history of being a middle infielder? I'm not quite sure of his background.
He's been around.
He's played a little second base, a little third base.
outfield.
He was kind of a journeyman with the Mets.
I mean, that's a guy. When I asked about the hitters, would you try to see what you can get for Turner? He's a free agent.
He's on fire right now. His
He's
value
been
will never
great.
be
I'm just
higher.
saying, you might, he's 31. Is he a middle of the order bat every year, or is it just right now? So that's an interesting thing. I mean, if they're going to be sellers, I'd be prone or keen to see what I could get for Justin Turner.
Yeah, it would definitely be a sell high situation.
And in that case too, I'd float Aegon out there because they have what's the guy in the minors, Bollinger? Is that his
I
name?
mean, I'm not really sure what you can get for Egons.
Yeah, but if you could get something,
He's still a bat that people will want.
I think so.
He'll still command a little bit.
I don't know what you're going to get. I mean, you could probably trade a guy, but you got to get pieces that you want to put on the team.
That's the thing. I'm not in a hurry for them to go out there and sell off their whole team.
Of course.
I'm just saying, with the pitching market the way it is, it's silly not to listen on everybody that's not a Kershaw or Urias.
Especially if you can set yourself up for the future.
Yeah.
None of the young guys. You're holding the young guys. You're trying to. These guys like McCarthy's a perfect, guy to pit. I mean, you got him. You didn't think you were maybe even going to get anything out of this guy at all. He comes back, pitches great for 4 starts. 4 starts right before the trading deadline.
And I think the reason that we're talking about the hot stuff so much, especially, is because of all the injuries the Dodgers have had.
Yeah.
No question.
Major league leading injuries.
Yeah. 21 people now?
22 players.
22 players.
They're already tied for the record for the most players in the NL on the NL team on the DL and throughout a season, and they still have 2 months to go. So
Yet they're still up on the wild card. They're 3.5 behind the Giants, so we're in it.
Definitely.
Dealing with all these injuries.
But it looks like Puig might be headed back with the other hamstring. I thought he was the guy that was going to get moved for sure.
Back to the DL.
I thought back to the DL.
Hamstring.
Now it's the, what was it, the right one before? Now it's the left one this time?
No,
Or is it the other way around? The other way around. And I thought for sure he would get moved.
Yeah.
Traded.
Yeah.
I think last time I was on the program, I talked about that.
Not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
late. Still might happen.
But
I don't think you can trade a guy in the
yeah,
deal.
yeah, I don't think you can now with both hamstrings. Now with nagging injuries on both, I don't. Where's the market for him now?
Is it not legal to trade a guy on the deal?
I don't know that you could trade a guy on the DL.
Interesting.
I'm not
But
sure.
they haven't officially moved him. Is that why they haven't officially moved him?
I think they're trying to see if they can give him another day or two to figure it out.
Yeah, because they can always put him on retroactively.
Yeah.
Although he did come in as a pinch hitter, Friday night?
Yeah, and Roberts said that if he did get a hit, he wasn't gonna run. He can't run in the field. Yeah, he's already said both those things.
Yasiel. I mean, it's, like we always say, as the stock market goes, as GM should buy low, sell high. So you kind of be selling low on Yasiel, so I don't know about that one. I remember you were pontificating about potentially a Yasiel for Andrew Miller.
I was saying,
We were just like,
which way would you
yeah.
take? And now, I mean, look at it. We're 3 weeks later. I mean, I don't think there's a chance that the Yankees would trade Miller for Puig at this
Yeah,
point.
I don't think we really thought it.
No, we didn't either. But it's interesting to see how far Puig has fallen, because I guarantee if we offer that trade, 2.5 years ago,
Right.
people would say you would never trade Yasiel Puig for Andrew Miller. So it's interesting the way things change, and
Absolutely.
it's still a type of thing where maybe Puig really just needs a new home. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because his career has gone the reverse way that you like to see careers go.
As Dodger fans, just as purely as a fan perspective, are you ready to see him go?
If you can get something that's valuable, yeah. I mean, he's exciting. He's a great arm, but he's been.
Do you think he's kind of reached his ceiling with the Dodgers?
Well, I think his ceiling was. It seems like his ceiling was reached
A couple seasons ago.
when he debuted, and usually you'd like to see it reverse, where he debuts and he gets better, and it's kind of going the other way. I mean, he makes the highlight play, but there's no consistency now. It looks like he's injured again, and he missed a lot last year. So it's just troubling to see, especially with the new direction that the Dodgers are headed. Younger prospects
agree.
and
I agree.
different type of gameplay. So it's just, if you can get stuff for him, I don't know. And he, he creates a lot of attention and off-season stuff, and so you never know.
He's always going to demand interest because his talent and ability is so tantalizing. GMs would be fools not to look at this and see
Not to consider if you can. I mean, he's the type of guy that if you can buy low on him.
yeah, for another team to buy low on him and then he gets better and gets healthier and he's obviously matured
But
more.
it
over
also
years.
hurts the Dodgers when you look at their outfield and recognize that they thought it was going to be a position of depth, and it's really been a position of struggle this season because of all the injuries to the rest of the players and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard in telecast today over 1,200 man games so far that they've lost.
Yep.
By far most of them.
So, and I think we should take a moment to just note. Okay, so you can trade someone on the deal. So I was wrong about that. But,
That's okay.
yeah, thank you for that. That's,
Fact check.
That's good.
That's it. I love the research coming through.
So you can trade him. So I mean, who knows? Maybe he's well, I guess we'll have to see. But nonetheless,
These next few weeks are going to be really interesting to see how these turn out before the deadline.
Well, the deadline is
next
just
week,
about a
sorry,
week
next
away.
week.
But I think you got to say one thing is they got to give most of the players and the staff some credit for how the Dodgers have come out of the All-Star break, taking into account Kershaw's injury, taking into account all the man games lost to injury. They've hung together and played pretty well recently. I mean, the offense has really turned it on, and some of the players have I think it's Justin Turner.
Couldn't agree more. When you learn about the Kershaw injury while on the road, and Gonzalez comes up big, Howie comes up big, Andrew Tolis looking like he's really filling in nicely in right field. These guys are taking it on their back and carrying the team right now while dealing with these devastating injuries.
It's a credit to the organization depth and what
players,
they're doing
yeah.
because they've really played much better over the last month or so, and that's surprising when you recognize that Kershaw has been out.
And you can't say the same for the Giants, who got hit with the injury bug, who since the All-Star break are now 1-7, and they're normally a team that responds, and the Dodgers are normally a team that doesn't respond. So they're kind of switching roles.
That's what makes me a little bit apprehensive to be like a seller at the deadline because of the Giants' fault as lately.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're usually a team that's kind of like, all right, next man up, next man up, next man up. Maybe those next man up are not doing it as they've done it in the past where the Duffys and the Panics were the next people up, and it's like, and they've had a shutdown bullpen the last few years that is not the case this year, so they could be ripe.
For a Dodgers fan and as the organization, I think it's not so much even the Giants in the division. I think you got to look at the whole National League and the fact that you have three other major teams like the Cubs, the Nats and even the Mets that are strong, and you can include the Marlins and whatnot, but I think you got to look bigger picture. And it really comes down to Kershaw, right? I mean, Kershaw is a generational player, and he's so important that if he's not going to be playing the rest of this year, then you base your decision off that.
I don't know. Maybe the Ewing effect is that powerful. Everybody just rises up.
It's baseball such a long season. In the short term, anything is possible. But I think over the long run, I think that you would think that the Dodgers will revert to whatever the mean is without Kershaw at a certain point.
Yeah.
I could definitely see how picking up the slack in the short term, but over the long run, you think that the offense is not going to continue to produce at the top level and so forth.
Here's another wrinkle, though. They have the easiest schedule now. They have, of all the contenders, they have the easiest schedule coming down the stretch.
I know they have slightly more home games than road games.
But they play the most. They play the most games of sub 500 teams now.
Interesting.
So that could also play a factor now too. If regressing to the mean, but if they're going to play, the Reds and teams like that, you may not be able to. You may not regress that far.
Right.
So
and when you talk about regressing to the mean, Turner. Agons and Cowie was so horrible April and May that they're regressing up. So maybe they will rake for the rest of the season just to kind of stay at their the point we're accustomed to and the mean they're accustomed to. But luckily we got Rookie of the Year candidate Corey Seager to just kind of steady the ship.
Still doing
until
it.
those guys found their stroke. Yeah, he's
although he had
doing
a stomach virus, right? Missed those couple games with the stomach virus. They said.
Yeah, there was allegedly either it came from the All-Star game. Some people were speculating, or then somebody thought that maybe it came from Oklahoma City, and that guy that came from Oklahoma City was a Walters.
Yeah.
That was just up. Someone said he might have burned the bug, but I mean, what did he do? Come off the bug and go for 4 hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't slowed him down one bit.
Had 2 hits today too.
Crazy. Kid is insane. Absolutely insane. And Turner's still scorching. 2 more hits for him today. And Agons, it's good to see him, maybe the power stroke back. 2 home runs in the last 2 games, both to dead center field. Shots.
He sees 300 career home runs in sight. He wants it. He wants that now. He's been swinging the bat beautifully, and his defense has been impeccable too, as usual.
Any first baseman, that has played as long as he should hit 300 home runs. My word. Oh man.
They actually talked about his swing on the telecast today a little bit. How he's getting the barrel of the bat on the ball better. And that's why you've seen a couple home runs. Yeah, but they said he has adjusted his swing. Like he tried so hard when they were shifting him to go opposite field that it screwed with his swing. That's what the theory was.
He doesn't talk about it much, but he's been dealing with a neck injury since last year.
Yeah,
and so I think he's such a consumer professional where he doesn't want to bring it up that much. But I have to think that's hampered his swing this year a little bit at least.
And he has some back issue too.
Back issues too.
Hey, you dinged up. It's a long season, 162,
But Gonzalez is getting up there. What is he now, 33?
I think he might be older than that.
34?
Yeah.
It was a regular gray bid. Yeah, first baseman that don't hit for power. I don't know.
No, that was
Not many of those.
That was James Loney. Everyone remembers James Loney, right?
I believe he starts for the Mets now. Just to show you how dire they are in need of a bat.
I don't think
at the deadline.
I don't think I saw a lefty with a slower swing.
Or slower feet.
You got to give some ups to the 1993 Rookie of the Year, Mike Piazza, for going in the Hall of Fame today.
Yes, congratulations.
We kind of did a little shout out to Mike off the top, coming into some metal. He's a fan of the heavy metal. So, but yeah, I mean, are you surprised at all he didn't go into the Dodgers cap?
No, not really.
Mets the right team. He made him a World Series appearance. We put 8 years with the Mets.
8 seasons.
Numbers are there, and he didn't have a bitter divorce from them, so that always helps.
Most interesting fact I have about Mike Piazza, he was drafted in the 62nd round.
I know. That's
The
crazy.
1,390th overall pick.
As a favor to Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Because Lasorda and his dad were boys, right?
Yeah. As a favor, his dad was like, "Hey, can you draft him?"
It's a great favor.
Conversely, the guy who went into the Hall of Fame with today, Junior Griffey, was the #1 overall pick in the '87 draft.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love the symmetry of that.
The kid.
Dichotomy or whatever. whatever word you want to use. So the Bats got out of the gates today with 6 first inning runs.
Yeah, off,
I mean, Kazmir could just coast off a kid making his,
making his
major league
debut. Yeah,
It's like, okay, you're coming up for a spot start. You're going right down after, even if you do really well. So the kid goes out and he does really bad. And then you saw his whole family was in the
Oh yeah, you
I
just
know.
feel for the guy. Oh my god.
He was coming out, his like mom and sister up clapping, his dad's like sitting down. Like, I can't quit my job yet. Oh man.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, you guys got any favorite Mike Piazza stories? You know, he throw you a sweaty towel when you were a youngster going to Dodger games.
took pictures with him back in the when they used to do camera day, which I don't think they do anymore. But season ticket holders at one time used to be able to go onto the field, and you weren't really supposed to go under the. They had like a rope. You weren't supposed to go under the rope, take pictures with the players. But Piazza was actually very friendly and letting people do it.
Nice.
So there is, if I could find it somewhere, there is a picture. This was not no digital yet at this time. So there is pictures of my sister and I with Piazza back then. But he was really cool. He was really friendly. You know, taking pictures with everyone. I was at the game when he hit the ball at the stadium.
Oh, nice.
When he smacked that home run.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
seed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most home runs ever by a catcher. You know, he deserves to be in there.
Only catcher with bleached hair too.
Gotta love the frosted tips. I mean, once he hit that home run in that first game back in a Mets uniform after 9/11, you kind of knew he'd go in the hall as a Met once that happened.
Oh yeah, well, it's just such a poignant moment, you know.
Yeah.
It was just one of those ones. I mean, I think everyone remembers that too.
Yeah, definitely.
That home run. So it was just one of those things. Like when McGuire finally broke. I mean, I actually put it up there when McGuire broke Maris's record. It's just one of those things that you just remember.
Yeah, it's true. But you also remember him being a juice head.
Well, didn't Piazza also say he used?
That
was murky.
I was thinking that today, and it's awful to think about this summer. It's such a joyous day in the Hall of Fame, but I was like, both these guys were in the juice ball era. I wonder.
Well, I thought there was speculation, or that Piazza admitted it, or there was some
there was
speculation.
definitely speculation at some point. I don't know. Did he admit it?
I thought I could be wrong.
He never endured a suspension, did he?
No.
I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but there
Yeah,
were allegations.
Well, I mean, Bonds has never actually failed a test. Like
his head only got bigger.
his head got
smaller.
Yeah, his
Now
head
it's
got
back
3
to
times the
normal
size, but he never actually failed a test.
Right.
Same with A-Rod. Oddly enough, never failed a test. Admitted to it, never failed a test though.
Greg Anderson, anybody?
Wow. Just to add to the MASH unit that is the Dodgers roster, we got word Alex Wood this week, right? We'll have surgery, and he's
Out 2 months at least.
at least 2 months. So maybe, potentially.
This
for
is why the
stretch
Dodgers
run.
have to be buyers of the deadline. That's why I'm really kind of stressing this. I just feel like this is, if they're going to make a run for the playoffs, because the offense is there, they need that pitching. And again, I know the bullpen is doing great right now, but you know they're an up and down pen, and I don't know if we need a spot starter. If we can get someone like a strong middle reliever, then all of a sudden you have Liberatore, Jensen, and you don't need a starter to go. You don't need a starter to go 6 innings. You don't need him to go much longer than that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll probably be the only one looking at the deadline for a strong middle reliever. That's the good thing, I guess.
Well, rumor is Andrew Miller's off the block.
I mean, if I was the Yankees, I wouldn't be in a hurry to trade
No,
him.
because his contract's so team friendly.
Yeah, and
It's-
they have him in control.
Unless you get that haul for him, there's no point to
Yeah,
trade
it's
him.
like get the haul for Chapman, who is a free agent at the end of the year. Then you can probably go after Chapman again if you enjoy his time in New York.
That's a tremendous job by Brian Cashman.
It was, yeah,
He
yeah.
stole Chapman from the Reds, and he's gonna deal him off for a top prospect.
Well, didn't he sign Chapman, or did he?
No, he traded for
Oh,
him.
traded for him.
That was after
The
the
Dodgers
Dodgers,
were-
were in on that trade, and they backed
The
out
domestic violence
because
issue.
of the
Suspension.
uncertainty of Chapman's situation.
And so they got him for like lesser prospects.
They got
or-
him for like 4, a bucket of balls.
Wow, man. Why weren't the Red Sox in on that?
Yeah,
That's
that
craziness.
was and then look at that within that shows you the value of players in 3 months time since that. Now Chapman is going to go for a top prospect or 2,
Yeah.
and then be a free agent. But I think the Cubs deal with the Yankees is contingent on Chapman signing an extension.
Oh wow.
Well, is that maybe the holdup?
It's I think 4 years, $60 million.
Wow.
Which I read that Jansen's floor, because he's a free agent for this year.
Yeah.
Which, if you talk about if they do become sellers, would you agree with maybe trying to move him if you don't resign him?
Yeah, I think you got to consider those guys that could bring in a haul, the older players. I mean, anytime you can get a haul, especially with the Dodgers, the way they're moving right now, they've kind of restructured the organization into a prospect-driven, younger team.
Which is amazing considering they're still a playoff team doing it, which most of the time you don't get. And they're still a playoff caliber team.
Well, they also spend a lot of money for it. So. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And they're trying to walk that fine line of contending while also overhauling the structure of the team.
That's why I think I'm excited. Well, not excited, but you really got to give selling,
Consideration.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when's Crawford come off the books after next season?
Yeah.
So it's like you almost want to just sell, get a bunch of young people, play a bunch of young people, see who are going to be pieces for you moving forward, and then you have all this money coming off the books. Then you can know what are the right free agents to add, who are the right young guys I want to lock up and buy out their arbitration years, and then set yourself up for a nice long run.
You know who's a free agent when Crawford's off the books, right?
Bryce
Harper.
It's gonna be a bidding war.
Yeah.
I know the Yankees are in on that
How
one.
much do you think he can command? Are we talking 300 million?
Yeah, Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll
I mean,
probably
as
beat
long as he's
Olsen's.
an active player still,
What, 8 years, 300 million?
he's gonna get a boatload. You know who's gonna get even more? Mike Trout.
Yeah.
When's he up? He's still on a team friendly to
Yeah,
2021, right?
Yeah.
It's a while.
But he'll only be 27, 28, right?
Only 27. Oh my god.
That's when they say you're.
Your peak
Your
years.
peak years, yeah.
Oh my word, that is crazy. Adam Liberatore, guy has been great for the bullpen, kind of the turnaround of the bullpen this year for the Dodgers. He had a nice little
Scoreless streak.
Scoreless streak that ended today, unfortunately. But he's been a godsend for the Dodgers this year.
At least it was in a game where they were up big.
Right.
So, this is a game to lose the streak in.
Yeah.
When you're
Right.
up 9-3, that's all right. You lost your streak. It's over with. Now hopefully that's just off his back and he goes back to, back to the way he was.
You got a big lead or a big deficit if old Pedro Baez is being brought into the game. Oh boy.
Your favorite.
Oh man, he's the best.
I bash Baez on a daily basis.
Oh.
Him and Honeycutt. I can't. Both of them just thorns in my side.
But I mean, you got Kazmir gave a game effort today. Pitching with the lead, attacked the hitters. He gave him some decent innings today, and that's his second decent start this week.
Nine wins
Yeah.
this year for Kazmir.
Not bad, not bad. Sell him. But but McCarthy. I mean, as much as I wanted to run him out of town, he has been great.
Yeah,
So
He's been solid when he's healthy.
And he's
He's been a good Dodger since when he's been in the uniform and not
in the uniform. I believe he's 7-0.
when he's in uniform and not actually injured.
6-0.
He's been done well.
he is great on Twitter too.
Yeah, but he actually has one of the funnier Twitter handles. Now that I'm up on it,
I love it.
I was looking at his Twitter. I was like, "Oh, this guy got some
Yeah,
jokes."
he's one of the better Twitter baseball people too. But he had a lot of free time there when he wasn't pitching. So
Yeah, right. He had a lot to think about.
We're not going to sign off just yet, guys, but let our people know that are just listening what you guys' Twitter handles are and whatnot, just in case they want to hit you up in the last few minutes of the show or some stuff they want to hear about next week. They'll hit you up during the week. Just let them know.
Yeah, guys, feel free to hit me up. It's Hunter_Marks, MARKS. Shoot me a tweet and let me know what you're thinking.
I am at Gersh GERSH 13.
And you can catch me on Twitter. My name is Michael Rippe at Mike Rips, MIKERIPS.
Yeah. So hit them up, guys. Let them know, hey, this is what you guys missed on last week's show, or, this is my favorite Mike Piazza story, or I can't believe you wasted any time on the show about that bum. Things like that. Howie Kendrick, one of the hard-hitting veterans we have that wasn't hitting for the first couple months of the season. Did he have a couple of hits today? Or
Yeah.
at least
Yeah, he had a
one to
couple
extend his hitting streak to 16 games?
Home run today too.
Yeah.
That was nice to see. And Turner's been absolutely scorching lately.
Turner's been the hottest hitter in baseball since June 7th.
Yeah.
15 home runs and 41 RBIs. He's just been on. I mean, his tear is unbelievable. That's why if I wouldn't mind floating that out there for Evan Longoria. Mike was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a Turner for Longoria.
I know,
It's
but-
not-
Yeah,
swap.
no,
It's
I
just an
wouldn't do that.
addition to with Longoria. But
Longoria is about 30 years old, so he's still young. He's in his prime right now. He's having 20. I think he's like 22 home runs this year. So
he's having a
got
good
some
season.
And
Yeah.
he's under contract for the next 3 years, right? Something like that.
he's
Yeah.
got a pretty
he's got-
friendly contract actually.
Yeah.
Because he signed like a Trout deal similar to what Trout signed with that 6-year 124. I remember that when they locked him up right away. The Rays. That was Freeman, right? I believe. Did
Yeah.
Freeman give him that deal?
So that's the thing. I mean, that's why there's always going to be, you know, as long as Friedman is the Dodgers GM, there's always going to be these race to the Dodgers speculations. That's why the Archer talk is not going to go away, even if it's past August 1st, you know. But
Well, you could still make those trades, right? I mean,
You can.
the Aegon Beckett Crawford trade was after the deadline.
that's true.
Yeah.
But what has to happen is
Got a clear waiver.
got
Yeah.
clear waivers. So that's big contracts. And someone would snatch up Chris Archer's contract. No question. So, but yeah, I wonder if the Dodgers really have any of those big contracts that they could, because they already cut bait on Croft. You know who's kind of been impressing me that I was never really a big fan of, but has been squaring up balls lately? Van Slyke. You know, I was like, oh, why are we wasting a roster spot on this kid? But he's been actually squaring it up lately. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Today he had a really bad at bat.
Yeah,
Bases
I saw
loaded.
Outside of today's game, he's really been squaring it up.
Actually, I've been a fan of Van Slyke,
Yeah?
to tell you the truth. Yeah.
I was cringing when I saw him starting in center field last week. But
Well, he's not a center fielder. That's that's for sure.
no, he's not.
But I've always thought he was a good utility guy to have.
Yeah?
He could, he's got some pop, a little bit of pop. He's got good power to the gaps.
When he hits.
Yeah.
That's the problem with him. He showed so much potential in the beginning, and he just never really seems to have lived up to it. He's certainly not an everyday starter, but every team could use a good utility guy. So I do like him coming off the bench.
Yeah,
in
me
that
too, yeah.
capacity.
When I hear that term utility guy, though, and I think of a guy that's defense first, especially in the NL. But, I guess, a little bad off
He
the
can
bench.
play a lot of positions, or a few positions, which is with the injury bug hitting the Dodgers like it has been. It's
Left
something
field,
we
right
really
field,
need.
center field.
Yeah, apparently center field.
And first base.
I'm at first base. Yeah, he's plays first base.
That's true.
I actually think he's him and Grandal and Turner are the first baseman behind Gonzalez.
Right. Grandal, I mean,
Hitting a little bit better.
he's hitting a little bit better. At least he's over the Mendoza line now. But I mean, he I thought he was turning a corner when he had that 3 home run game. It seemed like okay.
Well, he's been hitting 300, I think, in July. But
Yeah.
that's how bad he was before. That hitting 300 in July barely raises him above the Mendoza line.
His value to the team right now is what he does behind the plate and how he works with this rotation in the bullpen. Because I feel like he's an undervalued defensive catcher because he really is. Great
Wasn't he
with
one of the
guys.
best pitch framers?
Yeah,
He actually had a nice one today that should have been a ball that you could see that the way he framed it, it looked like a strike, but
held it out a little bit
yeah,
more.
just held it out a little bit.
Do they actually have?
Yeah, they have stats for this.
Yeah, they actually said that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. How about our boy Andrew Tolles? He's fast, and he got his first major league multi-hit game Saturday.
And he was
3 hits.
He was actually like bagging groceries last year, right?
Yeah,
So,
for a couple of weeks. You know what I like about Tolles? Dodgers haven't really had a speedster since I want to say D. Gordon. They've really been lacking that guy who can either run for extra bases. We know Puig can do what he can with his legs when he's healthy, but they've really been lacking that guy who can really get 30 stolen bases. And Tolles brings this dimension, this value to the team, and hopefully it will pan out. But I like what he brings off that.
He certainly looks like he could be destined for that official pinch runner guy that
Yeah.
Most playoff rosters have.
The
You
Dave
know,
Roberts role.
The Dave Roberts role, as he played so well, the Skip did in 2004, the biggest steal in postseason history. No big deal. No big deal. So just looking ahead to the week for the Dodgers light week this week, they got Tampa coming in town for 2. And then they get Monday off and Thursday off, and then they got Arizona coming in for 3. So this is that week where you heal up. 2 off days this week and really get ready for the stretch run. It'd be nice. I mean, Tampa and Arizona, those are 2 beatable teams. It'd be nice to have a 4-1 week coming back here for next week's show.
I think most important would be winning with Kershaw. Finding out if Kershaw's gonna, have surgery or not.
Oh, yeah.
This
I
is
think
big week for
that's
us. Big
the
week.
most important victory they could have this week.
No question. We'll have the victory being like, oh, yeah, he's back in 10 days. That'd be awesome. What do you guys think? And you guys want to shout out anything? Any shout outs before we sign off?
Oh yeah, I should. My wife keeps bugging me. I should give a shout out to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Okay.
As I have cystic fibrosis and I do a lot of work with the foundation.
Nice.
So I should probably shout them out. You can find them on Twitter, on the web. Donate.
Yeah, they got any fundraisers coming up that are cool?
Where do you find them?
You find Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, CFF.com usually.
CFF.com.
Yeah, but I would just Google I would just Google it.
So you don't know offhand if they got any cool fundraisers?
No, well, it's not. I think it's .org. Actually, I think it's
.org,
CF.
that makes sense.
But
Charity, yeah.
there's Great Strides, and then there's the CF Foundation. Now they work together, but they actually have like two separate websites.
Gotcha.
So Great Strides is like the fundraising arm. So if you want to donate to me, I'm Team Smiling Politely.
There you go.
And that is not his checking account.
All right. So looking at the Tampa series, we got Norris Archer. We'll get a real good look at Chris Archer, and maybe that'll be something we see for Andrew Friedman to pull off the trigger on that big deal. And then McCarthy versus Matt Moore, another guy that's on the bump and would cost less than Archer to get.
Did I hear you mention Shelby Miller? He's on the block
Oh yes,
now?
Shelby Miller is officially on the block.
Wow.
A guy we could have almost gotten last year.
So they literally got nothing for that trade, the D-backs.
Wow.
So this is another time I have a really good friend of mine, lives in Arizona, is a big Diamondbacks fan, has been cringing ever since they made that deal. So this is just for me to.
And Darby Swanson isn't even up yet.
I know.
Wait, he's got more cringes in his future.
Yeah, because I think Swanson's going to be. Isn't he raking right now in the minors?
Sure is. And he's going to rake in the majors too. Wow. That's crazy.
So here's a guy you made such a big move for,
yeah.
and now you don't even want him on the
Talk
team.
about selling low.
I know.
You know?
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I'd sniff around that if the price was right. You know?
I would too.
For cash?
If
Here
they
it is.
just wanted to, yeah, exactly.
You'd be amazed what a change of scenery could do for guys.
It's true. You know, or the right pitching product. Like, you know, get with a guy like Ray Searage, you know, the pitcher whisperer in Pittsburgh, and get him turned around. But Michael, what do you think, buddy? Just got to get that Kershaw news.
He's waiting patiently right
The rest
now.
of this is just
That's it. It
just
doesn't matter if they
chatter.
go 1-4, 0-5.
None
We
of
got to
that.
hear the news about.
That's the only news that matters this week is Clayton Kershaw.
I hear that.
That's it.
Awesome. So we'll be waiting on that news. We'll bring it to you next week. I'm sure you guys already hear it as good Dodger fans. But signing off for Hunter Marks, Joshua Gershon, and Michael Rippe, I'm Mike Conley. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Dodgers Wrap 360. Thanks, gang. Go Dodgers.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah, Michael, I couldn't agree more.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.